Good afternoon, guys. Well, at least it's afternoon here. I always like to sit here in my studio. You can see my books back there, some of them anyway, and some of my paintings. And I've got a nice high office chair that I sit in. I'm very comfortable. This is where I do my work most of the time. And I just wanted to talk with you today about something one of our early church fathers, Irenaeus, said: the glory of God is a fully alive human being. Now, I want you to ask any questions. If you have any questions, just ask. I love questions. Or if you have anything to say, feel free to ask. I'd love to hear from you. And I love answering or trying to answer questions. So, yeah, the glory of God is a fully alive human being. You know, he didn't say the glory of God is a fully saved human being or a fully religious or fully spiritual. He said fully alive. And, you know, one of the things I think about when I see somebody who's happy and in love and enjoying themselves and everything, we say, man, that guy's living life, right? That woman is alive. And that's what I think Irenaeus is talking about. I don't think he's talking about, you know, being super religious or holy or all that. In fact, my experience has been that religion and the church, let's get specific, in my instance, it is the church, I found it kind of dampened and was trying to control my life. Even though I figured out ways to feel alive within the confines, I still felt confined. And it was when I finally left the ministry in 2010 and I left the church. I mean, I visit churches. We've been visiting churches now for a long time, but I'm not a member anywhere. But it was when I left the church that I finally felt free to live my life without being scrutinized or criticized or judged or measured or controlled. You know, it's one thing as a congregant, a church member, to try to live your life, right, under the scrutiny of your pastors. And it's another thing for pastors to try to live their life while living under the scrutiny of their parishioners. It goes both ways. And I felt, especially towards the end, I mean, I had a wonderful church and wonderful people and a wonderful leadership team and everything. It just came time that we were no longer compatible theologically. But up until that point, I started to feel the box was too small for me. And in order to live my life, in order to be a fully alive human being, I had to leave the ministry. I had to. Otherwise, I would have withered up and died. I was withering up. I hadn't died yet. And yes, once I left the ministry, it took me some time to decompress, you know, get used to this new air I was breathing. I mean, I've talked about it before, but it wasn't easy. It was a new kind of deconstruction. I had already deconstructed theologically. Now I had to deconstruct from church, and that was a whole different ballgame. And so what is a fully alive human being? Just the beginning of this year, you know, the new year, we all sit down and write something down, right? And I've kept a journal for years. Hey, guys, good to see everybody. And hey, Amanda, I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. One of the things I wrote down was, what is it that makes me most happy? What is it I value most in my life? What is it that makes me feel really alive in my life? And here's the things I wrote down. I'll confide in you. The first one was my wife, Lisa. She's number one. She's the center of my universe. I love her. We've been in love for 38 years. And I feel a little emotional talking about it, but she is the center of my life. She is number one. She's the top of my list. What makes me feel most fully alive? Number one, my wife, Lisa. Number two, my kids. This is what's most important to me. What do I value most? My wife, my kids. I have three wonderful kids. They're 30, 28, and 25. Joshua, Jesse, a boy, and Casil. They're incredible. They're like our best friends. And for a while there, they were our only friends when we left the church. You get what I mean. But wonderful people. They're just an incredible joy to us. So that was number two. My number one was Lisa. Number two was my kids. Number three was peacefulness or beauty. So what I meant by that, I put it in brackets. I'm talking about our home, art, music. You know, one of the first things I do when I get up in the morning, I turn on my music. I make my coffee. I use the pour over method. I make the best cup of coffee. When I go to bed at night, I'm thinking, I can't wait for my first cup of coffee in the morning. It's so delicious. And then there's my books, and we have a beautiful view of the river, and friends. We enjoy cooking and drinking wine and a good single malt scotch, and this kind of beauty, this kind of peacefulness, this kind of lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about something that doesn't take money. Really, some things do, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not talking about wealth. I'm just talking about peaceful living. So that was one was my wife, two was my kids, three was peaceful, beautiful living. And then my fourth was meaningful work. That's what, and I'm talking about my cartooning, my writing, my art, and my online community, The Lasting Supper, which is an incredible joy to me. And you're welcome to join. And my coaching. I have several clients that I'm meeting with one-on-one, and I have some groups as well. I've had groups. So if you want coaching, listen, talk to me. I love what I do. I'm still doing the pastoral thing, I know. And I've been doing coaching for decades as a pastor. And I'm just continuing that now one-on-one with people and in groups. Hi, Christine. Such a wonderful practice to focus our attention on what we value and makes us feel most alive. Yeah, and you know why I did that, Christine? You know why I did that was because I wanted to write down what I value most, because then I wanted to shape my life around that. I wanted to be intentional about making that my life, right? So if I value Lisa most, then my life will reflect that. I'm going to live like that is true. And if my kids are that important, I'm going to live like that's true. And if peace and beauty is that important to me, I'm going to live like that's true. And if meaningful work is important to me, then I'm going to live like that's true. So what makes me feel like a fully alive human being? Well, these things, right? Lisa, my kids, peacefulness and beautifulness in the home, and meaningful work. And I could go on, but you get my drift, you get my point, is that's what makes me fully alive. And before, I have to tell you, before, like, religion has a way, it did with me, it had a way of controlling or dampening this, me wanting to be alive, fully alive, and just live my life, just be crazy or whatever I am. Just be me, unleashed. Just be me, untethered, And I'm an adult now. I don't need all these reins and gears and bridle and switch and all this stuff anymore. I'm an adult now. I want to run free. I want to be free. And this is, I want to be a fully alive human being. And it's glorious. Like when I left the ministry, it took a while to readjust, I'll admit. I went through a really difficult time after I left the ministry in the church. Yeah, I did. But I acclimatized. I got used to the atmosphere, and now I love it. I love it. And I feel free. I feel fully alive, and it's glorious. So, and this is what I religion, I'm adjusting now. Awesome, Mark. That's good. Good. Keep adjusting, man. I just love the freedom that I feel now. And you know what it took? It took a lot of courage on my part. Yeah, it did. I had to step out. I had to take a huge risk, right? Leaving everything that I did. But I totally believed freedom was mine. I had to figure out how to live it. And so I had to take that leap. It was a huge risk. Yes, it was. It terrified me. But I did it. But I didn't do it alone. I had the support of my wife and my kids. I had the support of a few friends. And I had a coach who's awesome, by the way, and therapy. I took everything. Hey, Mark, I'm glad you were fully alive and got out of the ministry bubble. Woohoo. Yeah, for me, I'm not knocking ministry, okay? I served the church as a pastor for 30 years, and I regret none of it. And I honestly say that. I don't regret it. I've had people say, I bet you wish you could live your life all over again. Maybe in some ways, but not in that way. I don't regret it because it makes me who I am now. And I love being me now. I love being who I am now with all of my skill sets and gifts and ways I can help other people. I've been well trained and well experienced in coaching other people and helping other people, empowering other people to live authentic lives and to find an authentic and fully alive way of being. And it's great. But often our religion can get in the way. I know it got in the way of my ability to love the way I wanted, who I loved the way I wanted. It got in the way of my creativity, drawing what I wanted. Me drawing my Sophia book. Where is she? She's somewhere. My Sophia book where she's partially nude. Well, she's all nude, but you only see the back of her. But that took a lot of courage for me, coming out of conservative Christianity, right? It took a lot of guts. And I finally felt free to draw what I wanted to draw, what I needed to draw. It got in the way of my business, with its religion's attitude about money and success and promotion and all these things, right? Marketing, like all those things, spirituality, my spirituality got in the way of that. And now once I feel like I'm whole and healed and fully alive, I feel these things are blooming without constriction, that the barriers have been removed. And my own obstacles that I had set up and put in the way are out of the way now. And I'm able to be who I choose to be. I get to be who I am and fully express who I am in my relationship with Lisa and my kids and how I live my life and meaningful work, all these things. So, I know a lot of people out there are really struggling. I know many people who join the Lasting Supper, for example, they really struggle that religion has really toxified their lives, has really, even damaged some of their lives and wounded many of them. And we're just figuring out a way to, weed that garden, get those rocks out of there and those obstacles to growth. And I'm totally, that's what deconstruction is. It's removing the rubble, right? Getting all the crap, getting all that shit out of the way. And so that we can grow and be fully free, be fully ourselves. So that's my message to you. how to be a fully alive human being? Be a fully alive human being. Choose to be a fully alive human being. Do you desire to be a fully alive human being? Do you desire that? Do you want it? And if you want it, you can do it. If you want help, I'm here. But listen, you can do it. I did it. Yes, I had help, but you can do it too. I know you can. And be fully alive. Live your life. Be free, even spiritually, religiously. Even if you're a Christian, a believer, a churchgoer, or not, or an atheist, or an agnostic, or whatever you are on the spectrum, doesn't matter to me. Be fully alive. And that's glorious. Be fully alive. Just live your life. Figure out who you are, and then be that. Cool? Cool. All right, guys, thanks for listening in, and thanks for joining me. Good to see all of you here. Thanks for your questions, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, man. Bye.